Mhm.
All right. Happy Wednesday, everyone. It's Workshop Wednesday here at Best Homes Real Estate. We're on like a minute or two early to get you guys excited and boosted, get your cameras going, your Wi-Fi connected, your computer charged, all that fun stuff before Zoom. But every Wednesday we hold a workshop, as you guys know, and we go live on Facebook. So anyone who doesn't, who can't hop on the Zoom, can see us on Facebook. It also stays recorded here on Facebook. If you ever want the Zoom link, message your any of the admin members, and we'll get you that link so you can watch it later. But today we had a change of a topic, so we had Toby, the hero of the day is what I call her, save the day, and she's covering one of the most important topics as a business owner. So it kind of organically worked out, and we will be diving deep in budgeting, success tracking, routines, habits. We also have Josh, our director of talent growth, on here as well. Tristan on the background. So if we have any questions later down, they are also on the call. But we'll kind of get this little thing going. We still have a minute or two to go. But good morning, Brandon Matthews.
Good morning.
Hey, Adam. Adam was on our daily huddle today. Just a reminder, guys, every day, Monday through Friday, there's a huddle at 9 a.m. Josh shares some golden nuggets, gets you going and geared up for your productive day. So mark your calendars for that huddle. Good morning, Ms. Vanity. Good morning, Amanda. Welcome to our Workshop Wednesday here at Best Homes. And it is still a minute. You know what? If you guys have never hosted a Zoom or anything, you'll be surprised how long a minute is.
Long.
Like it's like, let's hop on 5 minutes early to get people jazzed up. But I tell you know how long 5 minutes is on a Zoom when you're just going live and doing stuff. Tristan says, rumor has it that you should go live once a week on Facebook on something that you're doing. So kudos to everyone who has. I am yet still to do that, but I'm slowly kind of practicing just with stuff that we do. And I was like, it's not easy just to go live on spot and wait for people to hop on and get going. So practice makes perfect. So I highly suggest it. But it's exactly 10 a.m. Let's get this party going. Today's Wednesday workshop topic is activity tracking and budgeting system for successful business with our success manager over in our Scottsdale branch by Ms. Toby owned by. So Ms. Toby, it's all yours. And we look forward to your workshop today.
All right. Thanks, Melissa. Well, hello, everybody. Good morning. I thought Melissa was giving a shout out yesterday. We needed a topic, and this is just what we hear about a lot. And the end of the year is coming, and a lot of agents, we're going to see a great exodus when they have to pay their dues because no one plans for them. And there's just a lot of expenses with being an agent that we need to plan on. So thought this would be a good topic for all of us to get on top of things, because it's always good to review your budget and your tracking and all those things anyway. So let's just jump on in. So we're going to cover, just so you know, Melissa kind of already said it, but we're going to talk about the Google Workspace too, because we have tools right in Google that kind of do everything for us, and it's all right there together. We're going to talk about agent expenses. I'm going to show you kind of two simple built budgets and that you can create around your own that helps you with tracking, and then also your daily tracking, because in order for that budget to work, you got to make money, and your daily activity is what's going to make you money. So all this ties in together. All right, let's just jump in. So we're going to talk about that. Most people know this, some people don't, because if you don't use Gmail or Google, you don't even know it exists, but you have a free business suite right there, right in front of you. And it is so easy to use. Of course, most everybody knows Gmail. Usually any new agents that join that are creating an agent, new agent email, I say, go to Gmail because you've got this entire suite. Gmail is just very easy. It's, a great thing, but with it, because you have a Google account, you get a lot of things, your calendar. It is funny to me how many agents do not use their calendar, and that should be like your brain. and I'm going to go into it in just a second, but the calendar, you should be putting everything on, because the busier you get as an agent, the more scattered you're going to get, and it's going to keep you straight. But you need to put stuff on there too, like personal things where you are keeping track of everything, where you're just not all over the place. Another really good one I want to talk about is the Drive. It's this one right here. It is an app. All of these are apps that you can go into the app store and put on your phone. So it's very easy, because that way you have them on your computer, but you also have them on your phone. And so I always want to explain how I have used the Drive. Of course, we can all save documents there and share them. The shareable part is so good. But one of the things I really like about it is if I go out to a house and let's say it's not the best house, I would love to, list it, but a cash offer would be best, or I might want to send it out to some investors, or maybe I've got potential clients that I want to show a nice little virtual tour to. It could be that, all of those things. Videos and emails are really hard to transfer. They're very large. And so you're doing all this on your phone. Now you leave that client's house. All you have to do is go to Drive. There's a little plus button and it says upload, and it directly uploads from the videos and your pictures, upload straight to that Drive. You can name it like that house, the address or whatever. And then you can actually make that Drive shareable. So you could go in there and put your client's email. You could go in there and put a whole list of investors, maybe you're going to send it to. You can make that Drive shareable with whoever you want, and then it produces a link. So when you're emailing them or texting them, you're just texting them a link. You've never had to transfer videos and pictures or any of those things, and it's super easy. So that's right at our fingertips too, and that it's just such an easy tool. Of course, docs and sheets, that's like the version for Word. I mean, for Microsoft that they always had when you had the Microsoft package like Word and Excel and PowerPoint. Well, Google's version of all of those is docs, sheets, and slides. And all of those are very easy to use. Actually, this presentation right now is on Google Slides. It's super easy to do. It's very friendly, and it's still all in the same suite. And then of course your calendar, and then the meet button too. A lot of times whenever we meet with people, you can create a little meet where you can do a Zoom without having to, use Zoom. It's still all in your little suite. So I just advise you to go out there, look at what we have at your fingertips and use it all, because it all talks to each other and it's all very simple. So let's dive in a little deeper. All right. So the purpose of this meeting, hang on, let me make sure I did it right. The most common reason, it's like the common thread through everything. So I'll go out on Google and I started looking like for reasons agents fail, top agents, why this, that, why do agents quit, and just go every single thing that came up. It may not have been number one. This was number 10. This one was number 1, but money is one of the biggest reasons. And it is a very common denominator through everything. And it is because this is a business. You need to treat it like a business. You're not getting a weekly or a bi-weekly or monthly paycheck unless you are working. And sometimes you have closings that don't happen yet. You have to plan for those things. It may, you may have a couple things under contract, but they're not closing for 45 days or some reason. And so you need to have money in, savings or coming, something for your budget to work. Because what happens is you start cutting things that you think are unimportant, but they're very important to your business. So we're going to dive in and talk about the expenses that the agents have and what we're not planning. So many people aren't planning on. So yearly, you have to pay armless. Armless is $395 a year. It's going to be like clockwork. There's no getting out of it. You can't do business without these things. You've got to plan for these things. And this is where we see an exodus of agents because they can't pay their dues, or they start because they're going in debt or whatever. But you've got to plan for it. So it's $395 a year for armless. And then you've got your association fees. Now we're all with different associations. We've got Phoenix, we've got Scottsdale, we've got We Serve, all here in the Valley. They're all just a hair different, but very close. It's around $500, $490 to $535 is kind of the range. But those you've got to pay yearly. Now I'm going to, hang on a second. I'm going to show you all, like on armless. If you go to, it's atlas.armless.com. This is myself. I logged in and I started looking at, oh, I joined, well, never mind. Don't look at that. Over here, my subscription, it shows me that I paid my subscription on June 1st. So I'm going to have to pay that again in June. So that's how you can find out when yours is due. A lot of people don't even know when it's due. And then you get an email and you've got a month to pay it. So this, look it up, because you may have time to plan and save a little for it where it's not such a surprise. So this is where you go for that one. And then the second one is your association stuff. So I am with Phoenix, I'm with PAR. So whenever I logged into PAR, I go down here. It also tells me when my COE, my cycle ends. So I've got to, you're going to go on here and like your continuing ed and things like that. It's going to tell you, figure out your due dates on those as well. Let's go back here. Let me get my thing back going. Oh, hang on. All right. So you've got the $3.95 and then you've got your association fees. So your job is to go out and make sure you know what your due dates are, because you can't build a budget without knowing when it's due. You're going to have to plan for that. And then these are some of the monthly fees. You've got the $50 Best Homes monthly fee that's going to be coming directly out. We also need Supra, which is $18.25 a month. It just went up just a little bit not long ago. Yes, so the $50 a month is your E&O and your broker fee for the 70 for our partner agents, and then the $50 a month for the entrepreneur too. So we're all getting that $50 taken out every single time. Super is $8.25. Continuing ed, that can be free for you if you will plan. We have one almost once a month. Is that correct, Melissa? Is that, yeah, Melissa's nodding.
Yes.
So we try to provide these for you throughout the year where it's never an issue. You've already checked that box, and they're done. So again, when you're getting those emails, it may seem like a little bit of a nuisance, but you're chipping off a little bit of those 24 hours that we have to do every 2 years, and you can get them done for free. And so let's break it down. If these two right here, the Armless and the association, it's close to $1,000 a year is what you're planning on. If you take that and you divide it by 12, that's only, we're going to round up, $84 a month. Okay, $84 a month to plan on, to save, is way better than writing a $1,000 check that you're not prepared for. So that's why this is so important to start planning on that. So I'm going to show you two different budgets, and these are just made up budgets that I can kind of show you how it works and why you want to get to a planned budget versus an unplanned budget. Because most of the time, I'm going to show you the monthly scramble. So many people live paycheck to paycheck. And I know we have a lot of newer agents too. You're changing jobs over, you're trying to make both things work. So both of these, for wherever you're at, you may be here at the monthly scramble, but your goal is to get to the planned budget where it's smooth sailing. But it's easy to understand that sometimes you're here and you've got to start somewhere. So if you're there, don't feel bad, just fix it, right? So we're going to kind of talk about both. So I'm going to actually go into Sheets and show you all some examples. So here's your monthly scramble. This is something that I built just in Sheets. And let's use an example, because again, everybody has a little bit different situation. Some of y'all have families. Some of y'all have been doing this a long time. Some people are brand new. Some people are having to work a part-time job to supplement until they can get this going. So we can build something around whatever that is. So I'm going to use the situation that somebody has a side hustle. Let's say I put in checks and tips. So this is somebody like waiting tables or doing Uber. A lot of people do Uber Eats and Zoom and all those things right now. So it's a great little side money to go. So you got to figure out how much of that do I need to do in order to get my bills paid? Because if you do too much of that, then you won't be doing your real estate. And so, that's why serving and Uber and all those things are so good for a side hustle, because you can do those in the evening. You can do those on times that have not set aside for your real estate business, because every day you need to schedule a certain amount of time if possible, because that's when people are available and you can build your business. And you do this other stuff in the other times when you're not working on that. Now, eventually, of course, you don't want this side hustle, but you're doing this to get your business until the time comes. And maybe some of you are struggling right now with the market and stuff, and you're figuring out, if you have to do this a little, just don't do it instead of your business. Go the extra mile, work harder, do it another time when you're not taken away from your business. So let's look at this one. Let's pretend that somebody gets a check twice a month. They're paid on, I just used October for an example, the 7th and the 21st. Okay. And so we're going to estimate, this is an estimated, you think you're going to get this. You have to have an estimated of incoming because you don't know what you're making, right? You're not sure what you're making. So you need an estimate where you can make a plan. And again, this is the scramble budget first. Okay. This is the scramble one. So you don't really have this base to start your budget. You're kind of paying as you go, paycheck to paycheck. And so, so your 2 paychecks are coming in, and then let's see, you get tips. You work every Wednesday, Friday, and you get tips, right? So you've got a guesstimate of what your tips are going to be. And this comes down and you have incoming coming in. And then I put a closings file, a closings line. Maybe you actually got a closing this month and you can put a real, fat check in there, which would just make this budget amazing, but maybe you don't. So we're going to pretend like you don't yet. We've got a small budget to deal with, but we've got to make it work. Okay. So over here, so the reason I put this in here, auto or cash, well, these are getting automatically deposited. And then this is cash coming in. So you needed to understand, the reason I do that is just because just so you can count on it and just so you can expect it. It just kind of tells you what's going on. And then the date you're going to get paid or something where you can plan. And so over here in October is where we're going to start our budget. And so October, the 7th happened, we got our check. The 21st hasn't happened yet, so there's nothing there. So you kind of use this as a daily check-in, and you put your money in as it comes in or whatever. And as you're spending too, you're keeping up with things. It's just kind of like another daily tracker, a weekly tracker, whatever for your budget. So, the tips came in. So right now you've only got $620. You need to get to at least $1,760 to pay all of your bills. Well, the bills are coming in. Car was due, rent. I just made up stuff down here, by the way. Car and rent, car insurance. Maybe you're a member of a gym. All right. You know what? You need to save for your annual fees. This is where this was put in. I put $100 because if we go back to that slideshow, if you take that $1,000 and you divide it by 12, it's really like $84. So actually we can make it, because every little dollar matters in this budget for sure. So let's just make that our goal. So $84 is our goal. And then savings. You're going to have to develop a saving system if you ever want to get to the planned, easier budget where you're living in the green versus living in the red. Because this is a stressful way, because this is what happens. Budgets start coming in. So numbers, I'm just going to start topping in. Let's say both of these things have came in already. Now you're like, all of a sudden sorry, my things, I was messing with this and my cells aren't adding up yet. There we go. Well, it's fine. We'll figure it out. So, hang on, guys. I want to fix something really quick on my thing. I'm seeing it and okay, this is better. Now we're more accurate. So we've got our bills added up. And so we look and we're already in the negative of what's going on, of what's being left over. And so we've got to make sure that we go back and we get enough in, because what starts happening is you're like, well, I'm in the red. So you know what? I'm going to have to cancel my Supra. I can't pay for Supra anymore. And now, can you go show houses? No, you can't go show houses. Okay, I'm not going to save for this anymore. I can't save for this month. Well, now this is going to sneak up on you again. You're going to get this $1,000 bill you're not prepared for. So I think you get the gist. This is something to look at as it comes in all the time. And gas is another one. Gas is so expensive right now. Put a good budget in there. But okay, so let's say you want to kind of keep up as you're going at where your gas is. So in sheets, if you hit an equal sign and you put the number, it becomes like a formula. So now I can go up here and I can say, oops, I filled up again today. And now, so it just continues to add, and you can keep your tally of your gas, something like that. That's how that works. But you've got to stay on budget again, because if not, you're going to start deleting the things that matter, and you're not going to be able to afford to be in business. And then you're going to be out of business. You're going to be stressing out. So that's kind of how the basic one works. Does anybody have any questions before I go and kind of to the planned budget and show you how much better it is? Okay. Stop me anytime. All right, let's look at this planned budget. Look how much less stressful this is, you all. Let's say you have figured out, because here's your approximate bills. You got approximate number of, here it is. That's what that means. It's your approximate monthly spend. You spend $3,595 every single month. It's kind of your estimated bills. So you went in here, like you've got your rent and your APS and water and internet and car payment, all the basics, Netflix. I mean, add everything. If you spend $3 on an iCloud, like, more iCloud, put it in there, put everything in there. We've got so many Hulus and YouTubes, and there's so many things probably hitting so many accounts that you don't know, but every little single dollar adds up. And if you put it here and then go back into your bank account, just to do your homework, go back into your bank account and type in Cox Cable. Okay, you'll know the date. It comes out on the 16th, right? So put that in there, because now you've got an expectation and you can plan these things. Let's see. And then always have of course, your best homes monthly, your association fees you're saving for, and then you need to have on there extra for savings, because you want to build up, you want to always keep saving, because sometimes what's going to happen if you don't have this in your account, then you can't start from that. Having this in there makes it so much easier, because you're living with it. So I'm estimating I have $3,700 coming in. Here's my real stuff for October. Let's pretend like October's over and I've put all my numbers in. I only spent $3,488. I should have 211 over. I'm in the green. What are you going to do with that? Maybe that's what you stick in savings. Maybe you need something. You need some more real estate signs. You need something. There's your little extras for those things. But that's kind of how that works too. You've got to plan. No one can do this for you. We all drop the ball on this sometimes, and it can get away from you very, very quickly. If you have credit card debt, add a credit card payment in here. Anything like that you want to do, just put it in your budget where you see it, because again, you're going to start deleting the things that are important, and that's not how you can do business. All right, do y'all have any questions on this? I know, so Excel and Sheets and any of that stuff may not be your jam, but that's okay. I just want you to know both of these are going to be saved in a file that y'all can get to. I'll ask Melissa where to put it, but you can delete or you can change these to whatever. Just everything that's like in the blue, these are formulas already developed, so just don't mess with those is all you just don't need to do. But if you change any of this, it's not going to hurt anything, and these are both going to work for you, and you can use either one of them. And if you have any questions too, feel free to ask me questions on it too, because it's not as hard to build as you think. All right, John, anybody have questions on budget, numbers, anything, things to plan for? All right, so these are your goals. I want to talk about goals for a minute. So again, your first goal, you need $1,000 emergency fund. What if your tire pops? What if we're all over the place in real estate. And if you don't have a car, you're in trouble, but you have a lot of expenses that you've got to be ready for. And most of this seems like, of course I need all these things. Yeah. But if you are in real estate and this is your business and you don't have a consistent closing, sometimes we want to have a consistent closing, but it doesn't work out that way. Or we have a lot at one time and not enough here. So you've got to make this still be, if you get a $20,000 check, you still only need to use, if it's $3,700 that month, that's all you're spending. And the rest, you're saving for down the road, because you may not have any checks coming in and you've got to be able to pay your bills. So your first goal, $1,000. That's if something bad happens, you need a computer, you need something happens, you're ready. The second goal is to have a full month of expenses. So whatever your monthly expenses, have that in savings, and then build up to 2 months and then build up to 3. Because honestly, in real estate, we need to be prepared for 60, 90 days. Sometimes you just don't know. The goal is to be so amazing in your business that it's coming in every month, and that you just have to budget where you won't spend too much, because you've got ample amounts, but we're not all there. And so you've got to plan for those scenarios, especially with what all we're going through right now. You got to be ready. Let's see. So if you want success, you've got to have these things. So discipline and hustle, daily activity, consistency, all those things. But more importantly, you got to have a game plan too. All of these things have to work into your game plan. So how do you do a game plan? What do you do? So as y'all can tell, I like my sheets and my and Excel and all those things. It's an easy tracking system for me just because it does it for me. But I created just a little tracker. And again, this will be available to you all. And I'm gonna actually go back to my let's see. I'm gonna open it back up. If y'all give me 2 seconds. I'm going to show you. I meant to have it open already. Sorry. Don't you love it when y'all save things places to be really organized and then you don't know where you saved it? That's my favorite. I'm not sure exactly where. Oh, there it is. Success trackers. Okay. There we go. Okay. So this is built where you have 4 weeks in a month. You can always cut and paste into another one. So I broke this down into October. So Monday through Sunday, each week, I go in and I just type the date in, and I'm set up for my entire month of October to track our goals. So this is just made up stuff. So I was just thinking, so basically this gray line right here, this weekly goal right here, the weekly goal. What do you want to do? Let's think. How many new friends on social media? If you sit there and make that a goal, you're following more people are seeing your post, more people know you're in business, more people find you fun and exciting and want to work with you, but you got to put yourself out there. So doing that is making new friends. There's the friend suggestions that people, maybe go friend an agent that you're doing a deal with, always look for people. So set a goal. So maybe like I set a weekly goal of 35 new friends. That's basically 5 a day in a 7-day week. So that was the weekly goal I put on there. You can change this to whatever. You can change it to 10. You can change it to 100. There you go. If I put 100, it's going to change the dynamic. So weekly goal, I'm going to go back to 35 just for 5 a day. So in the example here, I kind of went in and I was like, okay, I did it Monday, I did it Tuesday. You go in and you keep track of yourself. Thursday, I didn't do it at all. Friday, I did it. Saturday, I did. And Sunday, I did 2. So I did 7 too. So you know what? My weekly goal is 35. I only achieved 29. So it kind of tells me my percentage of how I'm doing my business, right? I didn't really cover that one too well. Well, the second thing I put in there was Facebook conversations. So that's just a whole nother step. The way those little back algorithms work and stuff, when you like and you comment on things, you start getting put back into the churn and you're going to be more visible to people. So it's very important to make comments on Facebook or on Instagram and things like that. And also, if you like something, like somebody else is doing, another agent, somebody, message them too. Message them, just conversations about real estate. Somebody post anything about real estate, just comment on it. You need to be personally posting every day too. So maybe your goal, I put down here weekly goal of 7, which is once a day. Maybe you want to post something on your story and in your feed. Maybe it's 14 posts, but you've got to be more visual. We talked about this with our sphere of influence not long ago, and I can't get these statistics out of my head, but the statistic is it takes 33 times to be in front of somebody before you're at the top of their mind. 33 times. So that's basically like 3 touches a month. For if you're doing campaigns or things like that, it comes out to that. But you're in front of them too, if you're doing daily posts and social media. So it's not like you can just do a post a week and they know you're in real estate. You'll be shocked how many times we hear, I didn't know you're in real estate. And you're like, how do you not know I'm in real estate? You know, you feel like you're telling the world, but if you're only telling them once a week, the chances that they even saw it is slim. Like they're not seeing everything every time you do it. So you need to be very active out there. Make your feed. You need to be fun. It doesn't need to be all about business. You know, it needs to be a mix of business and your life, you know, and things like that, helpful tips, all those things, but just be valuable out there and do it all the time and be in front of people. And then videos, do at least 2 videos a week. And so this is going to track it. Doesn't matter what day you do it, just as long as you do how many. And again, maybe you have a goal of 4, change this to 4. You can change these goals to whatever suits you. These are the suggestions. And then also I put on there, attend the daily Zooms and trainings. We have so many of them. So maybe set it a goal that you want to do certain ones. I mean, we have Monday through Friday. We have the huddle at 9 you can get on. We've got this one on Wednesdays at 10. We have a Tuesday boot camp. I don't know. I can't even remember all of these. And then we got Thursday, the peer-to-peer. We, you know, Friday, once a month, we got Cromford. You know, we've all got all kinds of stuff going on. Set a goal that you're going to be on those and keep yourself accountable, because you'll forget about it. But if you're looking at this sheet every day, you're like, oh, I haven't been on in a couple of days. I should watch those. Go back and watch the video, whatever, but keep track of it because it keeps you accountable. Also, this is just calls. How many calls are you going to make a day? Can't be in business if you're not making phone calls, right? And you got to make phone calls, and, you know, just sending emails is fine, but everybody's not reading emails. You know, you need to call and follow up or make cold calls too. You know, there's a lot of for sale by owners out there. There's a lot of expireds. Expireds are happening too, because the things are sitting on the markets for, you know, for a while. So there's a lot of activity out there to be able to call. So you can get lists too. You can ask Kelly from Magnus, you know, if they want to, they can print lists for you too. You can go out on, you know, on MLS and find stuff too. There's a lot of ways to be able to make these phone calls. Also, new leads in your CRM. Who's using their CRM? Some people are definitely not. They're kind of intimidated by it, or they're just not taking the time to do it. Make it a goal that everyone you talk to new that day, put it in your CRM. That's a new addition. Now they can go into automations. Now you're doing those 36 times a year, getting in front of their faces. It's helping that situation too, but you're adding something constantly to your CRM, because this is your database. There's so much stuff you can do with your database, and just if in your database, it's going out. If they don't want it, they will stop it. You know, they'll unsubscribe, but later on you can kind of redirect it and remarket to these people. So your database is something you're going to be able to use for a long time, because they might not be ready now, but they might be ready in, you know, 12 months. You just don't know. That's what a CRM is built for. So put your leads in there. And then open houses. Set your goal. How many are you going to do a week? I think Alan was saying 3 to 6 or 4 to 6. I can't remember the total, but as many as you possibly can. You have a better chance, 100% of getting a new client by doing an open house versus sitting at home on your computer, because you can do that at a vacant open house or another open house. You just use it as your office. Just make it a point to go do them and set your goal and put it, you know, keep track of that. And then new contracts. It doesn't matter if you got a new buyer, if you got a new, you know, a new listing, whatever, set your goal for the week and everything. And then I put on their exercise, because that is one of my biggest downfalls. I'm going to exercise every day, and then the day goes and I don't get there, and then I'm frustrated, you know. So set it a goal. Again, if it's in front of you, you tend to do it, and you tend to be bothered by it. So, but you have to pull this off. Make this a little template on your desktop, you know, where you can get to it very easy, and you can do tracking, and then kind of keep it, you know, so you're going down to the next month. So every month start over with your little tracking, and then you can kind of compare. You're like, why is it so slow? And you go back and you're like, I really haven't even made any phone calls in it's been 2 weeks since I've hardly picked up the phone. There's your answer, you know. Wow, I only did an open house like once this month. That is not good. You know, things like that. You can go back and evaluate, but these are just easy trackers. You just plug in and it's going to calculate for you. All right, let's go back. Okay, and I wanted to kind of show you at the end here, Google Calendar. So when you're looking at the daily success tracker, you're like, all of those things sound so good. Yeah, I'm going to do all those. But if you don't plan them, it's really hard to execute it. So you need to put it on your calendar. So again, Google Calendar, go in there, mark off things. This is one of my old ones. Put in there when you're going to the gym. Go ahead and designate it where you're looking at it every time you log into your calendar. If you're doing an open house, put it on there. I have the masterminds and the workshops and the boot camps, all those things on there. And you know, something I do on my calendar is I go ahead and put the link in it. So if I'm in the car or whatever, you can hit the link and you don't even have to look it up or anything like that. It's just as soon as Melissa or Tristan or any of them send it out, copy it, put it in the details, and you even have the link with you. And so put all that in there, anybody you're speaking with. So let's say where mine says prospect, maybe that's when you're doing like prospect. So maybe that's when you're making your calls for the day. Put in there every single morning at maybe 8 o'clock, put on your calendar, friend 10 people on Facebook. Maybe that's when you're checking, whenever you're checking your social media, if you do it at night, if you do it in the morning, doesn't matter. Put that on your calendar and it's in your face and it's going to remind you, oh yeah, I didn't do that today. I need to do my friends on Facebook. You know, same thing on your social media or your videos. Maybe every day at noon, you do a post. But if it's scheduled, you know what, you're going to miss it sometimes, but you've got a way better chance of doing it if it's on your calendar, because it's a reminder. Because to-do lists are great, but I don't know if y'all should see my to-do list sometimes. I mean, they look like crazy train, right? So that's going to get lost real quick in there if I don't have some of the basics, just the basic activity. You don't have to be too detailed. Put it on your calendar. And then you're like, oh, I have not done that. I've got to go do that. And then you know what? You're like, okay, maybe I didn't get it done. And all you have to do is drag your little thing. And I'm like, I'm going to do it at 2 o'clock instead, but I'm going to do it because why? I just got the reminder by seeing it. It's in front of me. And I'm speaking to myself too. There's so many things I want to do in a day, but the world pulls you. The phone rings, somebody calls, or you start doing you get another client asks you a question or something like that. But these things are the basics of your business and they're so important. So you have to be able to plan on them and schedule it and see if there's anything else. Any of these things, well, just if you build your calendar and in the Google Calendar, it will say, one time only. It'll say weekly on the same day, monthly, whatever it is. You can set it up that way where it just goes ahead and populates your entire calendar, and you're gonna just fall in love with your calendar, because I don't even know how to breathe without my calendar now. It's like a staple. I mean, I would miss everything. All right. Y'all want to ask me questions? Y'all want me to get any deeper into the budget or anything else? Fire away at me.
Well, I don't know about you guys. It makes me want to go create some trackers and some Excel sheets, man. Especially when it comes down to budgeting. But thanks, Toby. Anything? I know there's a few agents who are brand new and seasoned agents. We have a nice mixture on here. But any additional tips that you guys have learned along the way that you want to chime in and add?
I do want to mention too, as you get more experienced, a lot of our agents have marketing budgets. A marketing budget you need to put into your budget as well, because that's part of your business. So where we were doing on here on our budget, a lot of this was basic. This was just to get the conversation started, but it doesn't matter. Like on our family budget, I have so many lines because I'm planning for so many different things. So you can add whatever. The more detail you have, the more prepared you are, and everything has its own little bucket. And you got to, it's the lack of surprise is what we want, because we've got to be able to do business. Now, it doesn't mean everybody needs to spend a ton of money on lead generation right off the bat, but once you start making money, you're going to want to do some of that. You're going to want to work with Tristan. You're going to want to build those leads. So build that into your budget too. I was trying to think of other things we need to save for, if you can, Melissa. The annual fees are a big deal. People, that really surprises people every year. They're not prepared.
Well, nowadays too, gas. I mean, gas, we show homes, keeping track of the mileage, tax. I mean, we will be having a workshop in probably November, December on tax tips because
good.
taxes are around the corner. If any of you are anything like me, if you extended your tax deadline, it's on October 15th. So I'm just doing my taxes from last year and I hate it. And I extend taxes because it literally gives me goosebumps and hives. So we'll be covering a workshop on that. But Toby, throughout the years, has there ever been a percentage or an amount where agents are blocking intentionally a certain amount of money specifically designed? So if I get on average a $10,000 check, do I put like $500 and really intentional? I feel like there's been someone out there who said every time I get a check, I do put this amount away for taxes, and then this amount is specifically for marketing.
That is a great point. We didn't even put taxes on here. So every time you get a check, that's going to go in there. That's the thing. You've got to plan for that, or that is a really not fun bill come tax time. I think probably everyone's been a little surprised with that, because it feels so good to get that big check at closing, and you don't want to save part of it, or you want to go pay off other stuff because we're always behind, right? But you've got to save it, or you're just going to be even more behind. Melissa, I think I'm with you. I feel like I've heard that too. I think 30% is a good one because it's helping you save a little, and you're going to have deductions and things, but I think 25-30% for sure. I would stick 25 is what I always heard. It's just everything's so expensive right now. 30 might be good. Just to cover everything. And that's hard to do, to think about taking 25% of your money and putting it somewhere. But again, if you're doing that and taxes come and you pay your taxes, you're probably going to have something left, then it's almost like a bonus check, right? Bonus checks are fun, but you're prepared. That's the whole key. And this takes discipline. I mean, it really takes discipline. So the less you have, the better to start this, because then it's like, as you grow, this grows with you. And it's so hard once you get in a lot of trouble and a lot of debt, or you're backwards, to go, and it's almost overwhelming where people don't even want to look at it. It makes them want to puke, and they don't even want to deal with it, and that's dangerous, because you're on your way out. You're going to have to get a different job because you're not producing enough here. And then that's going to take you away from what your goal was in your career. And now you're going to go do something that you're not going to build on. It's not what you really wanted to do. You're settling. So that's what we want to avoid, because I don't think that's anybody's plan or desire. Anybody else? Mm-hmm.
Hi, Adolfo here.
Hey, Adolfo.
So first off, great tips on this. Definitely a reminder that we need to get our organization in order. And but as Melissa said, I also was doing my taxes, and it's kind of stressful sometimes trying to rush through them. And but this definitely helps you kind of do it throughout the year, and budget your expenses, particularly in your real estate expenses, but also your other personal expenses, to even add to it, to your saying. I think it's a great idea to have your own like a own account that goes particularly just to your business expenses. Obviously, open up maybe like a business account or something like that. That would make it even easier, instead of just having things all over the place, with charges in your personal account, charges on your credit card, and just kind of all over. So that can be stressful, but just to streamline it into one account is a huge benefit, and makes it so much easier as well.
I'm glad you said that, Adolfo. That's exactly the way to do it. And the thing is, a lot of new agents haven't made money yet to start their business account. But if you saved and you were kind of prepared, and you do that, take that money and you do start a business account. You're exactly right. All these other expenses aren't in sight like that. So you're not stealing from your business to pay for your home. You've got two separate things, and it can get really messy when it's all confused. But sometimes if it's your only thing coming in, and this is all you got, you can use one of these budgets. But you're exactly right. Do two for the business and for home, and it keeps it so much cleaner. I have a separate account that's just business, and a credit card I use just for business, where everything doesn't get messy.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Mhm. Anybody else?
Yeah, this is George. One
George.
thing that I suggest, just to add on to what Adolfo was saying, is I highly recommend that you do create a separate business bank account. Reason being, most of you, if you don't already own a home, will want to own a home. And as everyone knows, because you're 1099, you're considered self-employed. You don't want to pay a lot of taxes at the end of the year. So more than likely, you're going to write off a lot of things. So for a lot of you, we're going to have to do alternative lending. And in order to do bank statement loans, to go off of your deposits and use more income for you, you got to have a separate account. So I highly recommend that you guys open a business account, maybe even do an LLC. That way, when the time comes to buy a home or an investment home, you have multiple avenues in getting qualified.
Great tip, George. Yeah, that's very smart because again, all this just gets messy, and the cleaner it is when you do want to buy a house or anything, you're gonna look like you're in business because this right here does not look like you're in business. And there's a lot of like free checking and stuff out there. I was looking with another agent this week at like the credit unions and different stuff. We were just looking, actually, I think it was at 1AZ, and they've got a totally free checking. It's $20 to start a savings account. It's very easy. Their online platform's easy, things like that. Just find somewhere you're not spending money on it. And if you can't use, if you're not disciplined to use a credit card, don't get one. But if you do use a business credit card, get one just for business and don't have anything else on it. Because again, when taxes come, it's very easy to itemize off of that credit card because everything on there was a business expense.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Toby, for your time. Thank you for everyone who joined. To George's point, we'll have George host a workshop on how to buy a house as a realtor, and he'll give you all the loan tips. So we just came up with the topic. Thanks, Vanity, for the suggestion. And then be on the lookout for that tax workshop coming up too. But thank you again, Toby, for your time. And I think George is about to say something. Yep.
Yeah, quick shameless plug. Because we're on this topic, I highly recommend everyone to pick up a book called The Simple Path to Wealth. It just pretty much lays everything that Toby went over and more. Highly recommend The Simple Path to Wealth.
I just wrote it down. Thanks, George.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, you all enjoy your Wednesday. And if you have any questions or follow-up things, hop on our mastermind tomorrow at 10 a.m. Enjoy the rest of your week. Bye, guys.
Thanks, everybody.